Speaking of extraordinary blokes, joining us from his home in Townsville, the member for Herbert, is Philip Thompson, OAM MP. He served Australia in uniform. He's served Australia now in the federal parliament for, well, 11 months tomorrow, I think, since he was elected. He's got a 1-week-old in his house. Man, I just really appreciate your time tonight, Philip.
I really appreciate you having me on. I'm at my office, actually. I'm not at home because if I'm at home, it's the shirt's off and it's, nappy changing a 1-week-old and a 2-year-old on the other side. So I'll come to the office to get on your show. Thank you for having me.
Well, mate, I'm really pleased you're here tonight, and congratulations to you and your wife on the birth of the new one. Just absolute joy, and appreciate her letting you escape home for this night. Anzac Day is a big day. I mean, you're a bloke who served us in uniform and has done us proud in so much of the work you've done, awarded a Young Queenslander of the Year, an OAM for your service at such a young age. Extraordinary tributes to you. But tomorrow, Anzac Day, is a big day. What is it? What is it we should know that we don't already know about Anzac Day?
Well, Anzac Day for me is a few different things. It's a time where I reflect on the people that have paid the ultimate sacrifice and have died overseas, and also to people who have succumbed to their war within here in Australia. I think it's a day where we need to remember, reflect, and know that our values and our freedoms are because of the strong, hard work and the fierce fighting that we've been through. It's all on the back of our ADF men and women.
And I think most Australians get that. I mean, I think it is really at that heart of our values as a nation, of many people from many different places. People who are new to Australia actually want to come and see what this Anzac thing is about. There's marches, there's a little bit of pageantry, but the tradition associated with it is just extraordinary.
Oh, it is. And tomorrow marks a 1-year anniversary. A friend of mine, a person that I served with, I lived with, Brad Carr, died by suicide. It's a time that is mixed emotions for a lot of veterans around the country. And while we remember the people that have fallen overseas, we also remember the people that have succumbed to their war here. It's a time where we laugh, we cry, we joke, but we stick together as in mateship, and we talk about how we feel. And I'll be very honest with you, there hasn't been an Anzac Day go by where there hasn't been a tear shed, whether it's at a dawn service, whether it's been just sitting down with my mates and chatting, because we've done so much and we've come so far. And for the new people who've become Australian citizens or who are joining us on Anzac Day, it's a day where we're not here glorifying or celebrating war. We're here at going that our freedoms, our democracy, our freedom of speech, our freedom of religion is because of the men and women who put their lives on the line, whether it's overseas on operations or it's here in Australia, a natural disaster. We owe so much to our ADF.
Yeah, and look, tomorrow must be difficult for you thinking about your mate, but unfortunately, you know too many people have been down that same path. And mate, I've not walked in your shoes in that way, but I can think about my own family. It was the Battle of Polygon Wood back in September of 1917. My great-grandfather was in that. He was psychologically destroyed by that Western Front battle. It reshaped my mother's family, that one day, that one battle. My late grandfather, at the age of 12, had to go and fend for his family. The stories out of the First World War are enormous. The Vietnam blokes went through so much, and so many of those who've come out of the ongoing Middle East conflicts have also suffered so much. Are we getting this right? Are we going to get it right ever? Because it's pretty tough stuff.
Oh, it's extremely tough. And, our forefathers and the people that have served in all the world wars and all through operations leading up to today's operations have paved the way for what we're doing now. We've come leaps and bounds from where we were, but we need to be going leaps and bounds further. And I know that the veteran community, we're really good at one thing, and we also bicker a lot. And that's fine. It's robust, it's discussion, but at the end of the day, we're still veterans. And I know we have a lot more to do. And I know that my job, being in Parliament, is to continue with the fight and have those robust discussions with different ex-service organisations and family members because we just have to get it right. We cannot just think about it. We must not just say we should do it. We have to do it.
And Philip, I mean, that robustness of debate, there's been in the past, and again, I'm not served in uniform, so I'm not meaning to be demeaning at all, but there has been a bit of patch protection from some. And I've listened to some of the Vietnam blokes say that they are now in charge. They're now setting the course, and they've got a great empathy for those who've had the psychological traumas, the stresses and the strains of remembering things that they wish they'd never seen. In that regard, that is a changing of the guard for veterans' issues, I would have thought.
Oh, it definitely is. And I would hate to think that any one group thinks they're in charge, though. We are all in this together, and with different levels and ages and service and where people have been, all come together, have strong, robust, solid discussion, which then doesn't just shape our future, but it dictates our future. And we need to be grabbing our politicians, our representatives, our people in positions, grabbing them by the tie, bringing them close and going, this is what we want. Because there's a difference between well-intentioned and well-informed. And we want people who are well-intentioned to be well-informed from the veteran community. Now, we don't always get along, and that's great. That's fine. That's what a democracy is about, and that's why we discuss. But it's about having everyone discuss what's happening to better pave the way for our future.
I mean, from when I was in federal parliament, I used to say to people, if you don't tell me what's important to you, how the heck am I going to know? That's really your message tonight.
Oh, it is. You know, I hate the saying, you don't know what you don't know. You either don't know because I haven't told you, or I don't know because you haven't told me. And there's a lot of ways that we can work in the veteran community. And one of the ways on Anzac Day, and when we're in lockdown, isolation with COVID-19, you know, when I've been at the RSL previously, you know, I buy a meat raffle. I try and support a charity. I try and, you know, obviously win some food to take home for the night, but also supporting people. And that's what we've done this year. And a lot of politicians have jumped on board, and a lot of people around the country supporting Swiss 8, who are doing a world record in the largest meat raffle, which is fantastic. They do a great job. It's run by combat veterans, supporting people with mental illness, but it's a mental wellbeing charity, and it's something that's fantastic that, you know, the whole nation should get behind. We've had people in the Labor Party get behind it. We've had people in the Liberal Party. We've had people in One Nation. It's fantastic, and the whole community, you know, getting behind the world's largest meat raffle is something that, you know, is just good. It's just part of the spirit.
I guess you Google it, world's largest meat raffle. It'll come up on your search engine at that point, Philip. Yeah,
it will.
Now, you mentioned COVID-19, this coronavirus. I mean, the social isolation issue that so many are facing. You're a member of a very proud major city, and the biggest city of Northern Australia, Townsville. You know, how are people coping with this? I mean, are we going to see people turn out tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, as the RSL is suggesting, hold that candle? They're going to do it on the streets, aren't they?
Well, they will. And I know my street has got decorations of poppies and Australian flags popping up everywhere. It's fantastic to see. And, you know, it's actually something I'd like to see all year round. You know, during, you know, COVID-19 has really put a strain on, you know, Anzac Day. But Anzac Day isn't cancelled. The dawn service and the ceremonies may be, but the day itself isn't. And that's why walking to the end of your driveway, getting out, you know, near your letterbox and paying your respects is such a great thing. Listening on the radio, listening to the War Memorial, and the PM will be giving a speech as well. And I look down my street today and seeing people having poppies up everywhere, you know, it literally brings a tear to my eye, because these are everyday, regular, normal people wanting and are involved, because the veteran community and the defence community in Townsville is a part of the fabric.